Somewhere along the lines of growing up, an iron wall rises between the two species we call boy and girl.
The time it arrives varies according to your school, friends, social environment, and etc. etc.
But we all know it usually comes around in the time when crushes, princes, husbands, and knights in shining armor enter the picture. I was probably 6 years old when most boys and girls would saunter off to their own playgroups. The girls would play house and the boys would play war or chess, which I joined.
Yeah, and she actually thought that a rook moves like a pawn.
We're here to talk about relationships, not chess, Jaden.
What a real smooth segue, Maria.
Yes, and it's all thanks to you, Jaden.
Yeah, alright. Romantic relationships.
Jaden has had a few MUs.
And Maria has had none, unless we count that one MU that lasted for one evening of a party when she was 8.
Yet, we both ended up heartbroken. See? We're even.
Yeah.
But, yes, relationships. Many teenagers are very eager to get into one.
It's that peculiar age when we're eager to grow up, yet remain young in a reckless sense of invincibility. Teenage love is fun and young, full of hope, innocence.
It's memorable.
But it's also messy and complicated, often leaving you heartbroken and full of regrets.
Yeah, that's why we're often advised to not have a romantic relationship at such a young age.
And so we throw ourselves into the interesting topic of myths about love.
Ooh, myths about love. Myths about love. We got 4 to say, I love you more.
You only fall in love once.
You can fall in love many times before finding the one.
You see, being in love is an emotion, whether it's butterflies in your stomach or this calm sense of peace when the person you like is around.
But when you're older and the time has come to be in a relationship, you're committed. So even if you see a guy who's pretty cute or seems really nice and you get butterflies and all kinds of feelings, you don't entertain the thought. You don't act on it because you're committed to someone.
But hey, I mean, there are cases wherein two people only fall in love once and that's it. That's the person you marry.
Like my parents.
Yeah, but this is a reminder that if you're falling in love for the first time in your life, it doesn't necessarily mean that she's the one. And that brings us to another case in point. Amidst a billion people in the world, there's someone out there who's meant for you. The one.
Of course, in a sense it's true, because God has his plan set out for you.
But the point of this myth is that any relationship involves work and constantly choosing that person over and over again, being committed, taking care of the relationship, and doing things that will make the relationship work or last.
The person you're going to end up with won't be served on a silver platter, or, in Rapunzel's case, climb into your window.
That's probably a robber.
Or fall from the sky.
Unless she came in by parachute.
Commitment is being firm with your decisions, staying, putting in the work, instead of abandoning it all for someone you just met, or a mere fantasy you built in your head.
And here comes myth number 3. Love, or like, comes at first sight. At first sight, that's not love. It's attraction, lust, or a crush.
Real love is not dependent on first impressions, but on choices and dedication.
And now we have myth 4, contributed by yours truly.
4. You can fix her or him.
The only person who could actively change you is God and yourself. You can't expect to fill a hole inside a person that has been there already. Trying to fix others is a selfish pursuit that only lasts for the short term.
So don't date someone with the intention of treating him like a project. No one's a manic pixie dream girl.
But while you can't fix someone, you can grow with them. Grow together.
That is a decision, a choice that depends on you and your significant other.
There are a lot of complexities in dealing with the fleeting emotions of love and limerence, but more so in the successes and pains of commitment. To dictate all these would be a huge undertaking for one guy like me who hasn't experienced a proper relationship. But with the help of my video partner right here, we got to discuss what it means to have a crush and be in love and all that.
So here's an excerpt of our little podcast from a few days back.
Enjoy!
We've actually been talking about relationships and the problem with the first steps on how to fumble a girl. So if there's how to lose a guy in 10 days, is how to fumble a girl in 10 ways. That's what we're talking about. So as I've said, the first step to fumbling is not showing the girl or letting her know. Like, you know, guys talking to their friends like, oh, there's this girl, like she's so, she's so amazing. He talks about her like all the time in the friend group. And then when he's with the girl, he just doesn't talk to her at all. Like, that's the first step to fumbling. Because if you're the girl and you met the guy in the morning and he doesn't talk to you at all, then later at night he messages you, hey, can I take you out like on Feb 14 or something? It doesn't make sense. So Jaden, as a boy, what is your take or defense for this?
It's not necessarily defense, it's more so an explanation. Well, that is rooted from the fact that they don't really know each other. So when you're infatuated, you build up an idea of them in your head without getting to know them first. And so now when you're in the actual event or scenario, you can't help but feel like a stranger to that person you so desperately love in your head.
Right. Love, really? Is it love or
it's not love?
It's what we think is love.
It's limerence.
Indeed.
There are two versions of the girl that exist, one in your head, one in real life.
Yes.
And if the expectation that you have with the girl in your head isn't really fulfilled by the one in real life, then you're disappointed, and then the girl thinks you're just ignoring her, and then you just separate.
I think that's also the second way to fumble a girl. First is not to talk to her, and the second was having expectations for her.
Yeah.
And I think as the man, based on what my parents are teaching me, it's the boy who's supposed to really do stuff. I don't understand what is it with guys nowadays. They're testing the girl, seeing if she likes me. Show her first that you like her, and then you'll see. Attraction is a sense of interest, desire, or closeness you may feel towards another person.
Like the way you admire the eyes, the smile of the girl you like.
Or the way you think this guy is really cool because he's good at soccer.
And maybe because he's smart and a straight A student as well. Yeah, you can like someone for their intellect too.
Yeah, attraction. That's where crushes start.
And how a beautiful long-lasting relationship begins.
Or that's also the root of your heartache. Liking someone you can't have.
Youch!
Take your pick. Attraction is an emotion, an all too often fleeting feeling.
And as far as feelings go, it's up to you what you'll do with them.
So, to give y'all some clarity, we'll give examples on acceptable and unacceptable ways to express your attraction.
Let's start with what's ideal. Let your crush be an inspiration, not a distraction.
We all had one, I think. That one crush who was just pure distraction, an absolutely horrible bad influence.
You end up neglecting your studies, your chores,
your health.
So first step is to find someone who's inspirational, who lifts you up, who motivates you to do well or even better.
Yeah, study with your crush, go on walks together, review for exams together. I don't know, I don't have a crush.
Find an inspiration, not a distraction.
Now, Jaden, what's unacceptable?
Well, for starters, being aggressive or pressuring.
You do not do nice things for the girl you like, then throw a tantrum when she doesn't react the way you pictured it in your head.
Nor do you pressure her to reciprocate your feelings or answer right after you tell the girl, I have a crush on you.
Yeah, don't follow it with a, how do you feel? Do you like me back? No, but give me an answer now. How do you feel about me? No.
We know, it can be exciting and you want to know how she feels or what she thinks of you, but be respectful. Just enjoy the feelings.
And hopefully, let it inspire you one way or another.
Yeah. Write a song, make art a video, or Write a poem, even if the series of events with a person you like ended on a sad or bitter note.
And now, how do we express our feelings for someone we truly care about?
This also applies to friends and family, not just your crush.
As you all know, I'm single.
Me too.
Jaden has a crush and I don't.
I do.
How to show you care.
No one likes a show off, not in corporate, not in school, and most certainly not in love. If anything, being genuine means keeping it on a one-on-one. No ulterior motive.
Keep it personalized too, if the one you like appreciates that. There are different love languages, but the two things that most will appreciate is your time and service. Like checking up on him or her, asking how's your day going, helping out with their tasks, and if they need a friend to do some errands, just be there.
There's nothing wrong with looking out for a fellow human being, but don't be clingy or pressuring or imposing.
Sometimes showing up at the right moment rather than showing up all the time will make them more comfortable, although that depends on the person. If being there all the time is what they need, then do it when you can.
Another thing is to be authentic, not agreeable. People want a voice, not a mirror.
Absolutely. Temper your actions, but do not shut out your identity. It means that engaging in conversations with the person you like is the unwrapping of gifts, albeit in a slow and loving way.
And make them laugh. Humans love jokes and funny scenarios.
The appropriate ones, Jaden.
In all these observations and talks, the only actionable decision in this stage of our life is to pursue the improvement of the self. This kind of improvement is a statement of change that is hard to enact now due to the increasing growth of complacency and mediocrity, settling for little in a world where humans are born to be more but bred to be less. And in this case, this transfers on to the objectives of relationships, where the new goal is to pursue trends of ever-increasing stimulation and unreachable standards that people have to reach in order to be viable or suitable in relationships.
The same quality control can be said for in the past, but the validity is larger than ever. Faith and responsibility are things of the past. Status and comfort are now the entry points of a relationship, sadly. Only late into the relationship do many realize that it also has to be deep. Those who continue with that truth become stronger individuals and partners. And whoever withdraws from that perspective ends up chasing transient highs or idealized compatibility.
Find ways to make it work.
Or else it won't.
That is why it is highly essential that you build on yourself first. A career is a huge step towards this notion. If you're able to form your own identity, you will attract those with the same identity. No matter how hard it is to reach the top, your efforts will translate into some sense of reality, even if not all of it.
So it's best to start now, when you can. You have your parents supporting your decisions and growth moving forward. You have your friends who will be there in your down times and busy times alike. And with prayer, you'll have God's heart in you to do the right thing.
As chummy as it sounds, study first is always good advice. It's distraction-free, logical, and future-minded.
Your world of people will grow old with you, and they won't always be there, but you can be there for them.
Sometimes it's you who we'll depend on, but most of all, you'll need to depend on yourself.
And for Valentine's, you also have yourself to be with.
So work on yourself.
And ask for help. You never know how much people care.
And we may go for a tangent here, but you'll find someone. And if you do, give us a shout out.
Or invite us to your wedding. Or maybe write a dissertation on it.
Yeah, and with all that said, thank you for watching.
Undeniable Stardust for the win.
It's your TV.
My TV will be like the whole room.
Exactly. That's what I want. Yes, that's
big brain.